that will enable you make the economy of yourself as an individual, your family, and possibly your state and the nation better than as it were before you started watching this program. Again, we're going to say welcome and share the moments with us. I know it will not be a wasted time. You won't regret being there with us. This day I have a guest, and that guest is a young woman, and I will want to make you see her and get to know what about her. But then, after seeing her right now, I'll get into the stock exchange, talk about it a bit, and all that. When then we'll return and talk with her. I am talking about someone that is an engineer by profession, but then she is also a designer by birth and by choice and by making, or by calling, if you like, because it's a calling from the family. It's in the family line. And so we'll discuss these things. And what are we talking about? The main thing we want to talk about today is to find out how the economy will be made better. This is what I've said before. We'll give you the topic. But let me just say welcome to Zainab. Zainab, good to have you on the program. She is here with us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Zainab, it's a pleasure having you on this program today. And we'll return to you and we'll discuss. But before then, let's just look at what we have from the stock exchange. Yes, it's profit-taking session, really. It's profit-taking session from the stock exchange because the market performance is what I just bring forth to you now. All share index happens to be 246,980.17 points, and so it went slightly down by 0.41%, talking about 1,004.38 points. And then again, the market capitalization happens to be 159.34 trillion naira. The market capitalization is always in naira. 159.34 trillion naira. Then we have going up by 648 billion naira being wiped out. Yes, wiped out. Then year to date, we have a return of year to date 58.71%. Then 1 week gain, we have 0.64%, and 4 week gain, we have 9.43% for that. Then looking at the activities the way they came, the volume was 758,771,386 shares in 55,149 deals. Then we have value 33.71 billion naira. Therefore, as it were, yesterday the volume went up to 12%, but turnover came down by 7%. The market breadth, 23 gainers, and then there were 45 losers out of the 132 traded equities, negative. Okay. Then top movers. If we look at top movers, that is talking about the top gainers in the first place. We have Lasaco Assurance having 10%, then to 2 naira 42 kobo. Then we have Coronation Infrastructure Fund having 9.98%, which is of course an improvement. Then NEM Insurance having 9.97%. Sunu Assurances Nigeria also has 9.83%. These are the top gainers. Then for the top losers, we have Cornerstone Insurance, 10% to 5 naira 40 kobo. Then Legend Internet went 10% as well, losing 10% as well to 4 naira 5 kobo. The Initiates had 9 naira 91 kobo, 91% loss, 9.91% loss rather. And then Guinea Insurance had 9.78% loss too. Then the volume leaders, we have FCMB Group bringing in 92.4 million shares, 92.4 million shares. First Holdco brought in 71.1 million shares, while Access Holdings brought in 43.2 million shares. Sterling Bank was the fourth that came up with 35.8 million shares. And for sector indices, we have Insurance Index 2.69% on the positive, that happened to be the best performer. Insurance index happened to be the best performer. Industrial index, where they had 0.68%, and the consumer goods 0.07%. Oil and gas went down 0.08%, while when you talk about top 30 index, we're up 0.41%. The summary, if you were to say, is that the market reversed Tuesday's gains on Wednesday due to broad-based profit taking. Despite the dip, the NGX is still up 0.64% for the week. Insurance stocks bucked the trend and led gainers. And these are the things that we found from them, talking about them, the companies that have moved on and achieved success in the way we have seen it. And some, of course, didn't get to have the success as planned. But then, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes it goes up, the other time it comes down. That's it for now, talking about the stock exchange. We'll return and continue with the program proper again. Yes, it's good to have you back facing us here. And as I said earlier, that the program I have today is a special one because, well, looking at the topic in the first place, it is surviving hard times. Surviving hard times. That's it. So you think, you watch, and get something that will help you know how you can survive hard times too, all around you. But before we go on to do that, let's take a break. We'll return.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Oil producers and petroleum regulators have rejected a proposal requiring oil and gas companies to contribute 3% of their annual budgets to the South Development Commission. Speaking at a House of Representatives public hearing, stakeholders warned that the levy could discourage investment and reduce the competitiveness of Nigeria's petroleum industry. The proposed amendment seeks to expand the Commission's funding to support development projects across the South. Lawmakers, however, argued that the region deserves greater investment to address infrastructure deficits and environmental challenges despite its critical role in Nigeria's oil production and economic growth. The Kirikiri Lighter Terminal Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service generated 19.4 billion naira in revenue in June 2026, a 35% increase from the 14.3 billion naira recorded in the same period last year. Acting Customs Area Controller Bolaji Lukman Adigu attributed the growth to improved compliance, enhanced trade facilitation, and intelligence-led operations. He also announced the interception of a 40-foot container loaded with expired disposable vape products valued at 809.7 million naira. The command said the seizure underscores its commitment to protecting public health while strengthening revenue generation and enforcing customs laws.
Initiatives include a 100 billion naira investment in a 50 megawatt solar mini-grid program, a 30 billion naira micro, small and medium enterprises development fund in partnership with the Bank of Industry, an electric vehicle mass transit program, plans for a regional railway and airline, as well as expanded investment in healthcare infrastructure. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Northeast Development Commission, Mohammed Goni Akali, while briefing newsmen, said the projects were designed to advance the Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan and support the federal government's Renewed Hope agenda.
Yesterday, during the board meeting, the board also approved a specialized fund to develop or support the SMEs, especially the lower end. So the board has approved that the commission will create a fund of 30 billion naira to support this group, youth group, women, all the vulnerable people who are at the bottom of the ladder, at the pyramid.
The Commission said its initial interventions focused on restoring communities affected by insurgency and humanitarian crisis, rebuilding schools and health facilities, supporting displaced persons, rehabilitating infrastructure, and restoring essential public service.
The board also thought transportation is very critical. Yes, we talk about e-vehicles and taxis and so on and so forth. In the first, rail connectivity is very, very important. If you are now going outside of the Northeast and so on and so forth. And the board has approved that the commission should quickly look into how we are going to revive the rail system in the Northeast. The board also approved that we should also look into the possibility of having a Northeast airline. What I mean, an airline promoted by the commission, so that connectivity, at least in the 6 states of the Northeast, will be much, much easier.
The Commission said it had enrolled about 10,000 vulnerable residents and internally displaced persons in its community-targeted social health insurance program to improve access to health care and reduce out-of-pocket costs.
When you look at the master plan, when it was approved by the presidency in 2022, we are looking for $80 billion, which is about 2 trillion naira. But out of this, in terms of financial proposition, only about 80% should come from the commission funding. About 80% or so should come under PPP. So we have transgressed from phase 1, phase 2, now we are phase 3, where the people will be now interested in coming to play with us. But if it is like 5 years ago, if you want to do airline and call somebody to come partner, you won't come, but now they can come. So the issue of capital outlay, we might not have problem.
The Commission reaffirmed its commitment to implementing the Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan, saying the region's development priorities had shifted from rebuilding damaged communities to creating the conditions for long-term prosperity.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has announced plans to host the second West Africa Refined Fuel Conference in Abuja on August 11 and 12, aimed at attracting investment, strengthening regional collaboration, and improving transparency in Africa's downstream petroleum markets. The authorities said the conference will bring together regulators, investors, and industry stakeholders to address infrastructure gaps, enhance refining capacity, and develop regional pricing benchmarks. It added that the event will promote partnership to improve energy security, modernize petroleum infrastructure, and support a more integrated and competitive West African energy market.
Which drew responses from more than 370 participants nationwide, examined the human, social, and economic effects of online harm, identified gaps in existing protection systems, and proposed recommendations for government, technology companies, civil society organizations, and development partners. Speaking at the dialogue, the Women's Digital Rights and Safety Officer at TechHa, Gbemisola Oladi-Gowel, raised concerns over the growing misuse of artificial intelligence.
In our research, we found out that most of the harm that people complain about happen on Facebook, right? So Meta is culpable when we look at that, right? And their policies are not allowing people to safely engage online. And so we're saying that platforms need to take safety important. And to be frank, platforms will not take safety important if the institutions within the country are not holding them by the neck.
Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter, were among platforms frequently mentioned by respondents, with some victims reporting that harmful posts remain online despite repeated complaints. Experts called on technology companies to strengthen their safety systems and respond more effectively to reports of online abuse.
While you want to protect people's rights, you also want to be sure not to infringe on some of their rights. It will be a collaboration between government and people. So, it could be civil society groups, it could be unions. It's always better for government to work alongside people to be able to protect people's rights without infringing on certain benefits that they have.
I think it's very important that all stakeholders that are relevant come together to start discussing the policies that are needed to provide a foundation for digital safety, because those policies will provide the foundation and the framework on which laws, on which every other action that stakeholders can take will be built on to ensure there is safety.
Also speaking, the head of programs at TechHa Peter Akinusi said the study found that exposure to online violence was often shaped by people's identities and intersecting vulnerabilities.
We need stronger laws, right, in terms of how, as it were, digital platforms work. There was also the need that we noticed that it's not just stronger laws and stronger regulation, or stronger frameworks rather. We also need that whatever frameworks exist right now, the implementation has to be better. TechHa has a response and reporting site called Quorum. And the idea of Quorum is people who have suffered some form of violence or they're supposed to be able to make a report and then get, as it were, legal recourse or access to justice.
On international cooperation, the National Crime Agency International Liaison Officer at the British High Commission, Matthew Mountain, said Nigeria should adapt lessons and best practices from other countries to its local realities rather than reporting foreign models.
In terms of lessons learned, I think there is a misconception when it comes to partnering with countries that one country has the answer. I think the lessons learned is whatever information, best practices are obtained from working with international partners to apply the Nigerian context.
Persons with disabilities and members of other marginalized communities also face heightened risks because of multiple forms of discrimination.
Today, the research is going to be out there in the space, and it's for us, it's a call to action. First, you cannot address issues around violence if you don't involve the community of those who are most affected. So speaking about organizations of persons with disabilities who work in protecting the rights and the dignity of women and girls with disabilities to be part of, consolidating effort.
The Toxic Tech report seeks to provide evidence for policy reforms, stronger institutional responses, improved platform accountability, and expanded digital safety measures.
And here we go again. Good to have you back here. We're getting straight into the main program, as we said, and we're working it out straight away. I did tell you that I have a topic that is very beautiful and interesting, I must say, and that is what you will see also on the program. We said surviving hard times, surviving hard times. And as we survive hard times, there is a suggestion. That is what we have as the rider there, and that is a diverse income sources. And so my guest, Zainab Sani, happens to be a creative director of a fashion line, I must say. And here she is, and I will want to find out more from Zainab. Zainab, once again, it's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Zainab, looking at the topic itself, we said surviving hard times, and then we're looking at diverse income sources. What I just said, does it make any sense?
Of course it does.
I mean, that we can survive by looking for diverse sources for income.
Yes.
Because the economy is not in the best of forms at a time like this, isn't it?
Of course.
Okay. And I must say that, like, I want to use the word that you have overcome. Tell us your story. Getting into all these, I said you are an engineer, and you are doing this too. In fact, not just an engineer, but what did you call it again?
A software engineer.
A software engineer. That's a much more serious one. That's how I'm saying it. But then look at you doing this, being a fashion line creative director. How did you manage to get into this one?
Okay, I think growing up, from my family, we were all in business, right? I basically grew up watching my mother, my grandmom doing business. And then just from doing things like this, while growing up, obviously, as you said, the economy is not in the best place and it just keeps on getting worse. So I think it was around 2020 during the lockdown when I just came to my head that you need to find something to do, right? Everybody was at home. People that were going to work did not have an alternative of what to do. Yeah, so it just came to my head that you can't just rely on opportunities that come to you. You have to actually stand up and try to find opportunities for yourself. And as I said, growing up in business, it was the easiest line for me to just say, this is something I know, this is something that I'm already into, the best line to go into. And business is very lucrative, right? There are different branches in which you can go into. It is a very, very wide
field.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Scope,
yes, so it's very wide. So I started to dabble. I didn't go into fashion immediately. Started to dabble in a couple of things. But then I'm a woman, obviously, and we do love to look good. So it just looked like the easiest, the line that made the most sense, if you ask me. I think Tima's Place came about. My mom started it, right? But it just came about by trying to find the intersection between her generation and my generation when it comes to fashion. So because as much as it is very similar, it also has its differences. Yes. So it has its differences. I was trying to find a way where I can look exactly how I want to look, but also tapping into our culture, the heritage, what she represents. And that's how we found ourselves here, basically.
Okay. That shows that kind of it is something that is in the family line, is that?
Yes, it is.
Your mother is in it. And what about his mother? Was she in it or is she in it? I don't know whether she's still alive.
Yes, she's still alive. Yes, my mom's mom was in fashion as well.
I see. So you've just grown into it.
Of course, yes.
All right. Looking at it now, do you see it as something that would help put food on the table for any human being involved in it?
Of course, it does for me right now. I can say, like, I do have a few things that I do, but fashion business is my main thing that I do, right? Right now, where we met was at a pavilion an exhibition that we went for. And there are so many opportunities. These are things that people need, right? Because it is not it's not like food that you need to have it, but it's clothes. You need to wear clothes, right? So people are always getting it, no matter how much the economy goes bad, and it would always bring in income for you. It is something that you know that it's recurring. You just need to find a unique way to do your business. You don't have to follow the crowd. But yes, it is definitely something that can bring food on the table for you.
Okay, you don't have to follow the crowd.
Yes.
You need to find out a unique way for yourself. These are the words of my guest today, Zainab Sani. Zainab, it's good really hearing you say these things.
Thank you.
And then looking at the fact that you're young and beautiful, of course.
Thank you.
That you're young. Then we look at the fact that many young people always look for the 9-to-5 job or 8-to-4 job. But you went and did something that can take you into such things and even beyond as a software engineer. But you looked at it and said, let me go in this. I don't know whether I should ask you, if I've not asked you, I don't think I've asked you that. Why did you go into this particular one?
Into fashion? Why? Okay. So I went into fashion because it's something that I'm actually passionate about, to be very honest, right? I would still just stem it back to family because family is very important to me. Growing up, my mom is, I would say, a fashionista. So it's something that you always have to, like, you have to look good. She would always say, dress the way you want to be addressed, right? You need to step into a room and command the crowd. And she would always say, because before people hear from you, they take a look at you. Exactly. And the way you look is how people would give you a call. Exactly. So if I'm saying, oh yes, this is something I want to achieve for myself, it is also something that other people want to achieve for themselves, which is basically the question now, right? So it's something that we're trying to solve. People want to achieve this thing. They want to conquer this thing for themselves, and I can help them do it. So I've just come in to help them solve a problem, basically.
That's great. That is to say that you had to look out for the space that needs to be filled and problem that needs to be solved.
Of course,
and you came into it and you're perfectly fitting into it because also it's also a passion. It's natural for you doing it.
Yes.
I purposely said that today on this program that I want to look at some of the things you've done since I met you at an exhibition point.
Yes.
And I found out that we have this. This is something that you've done, and you're asking the young people to think of doing things like this so as to help them make money.
Yes.
What is this called anyway?
It is a 2-piece unisex kimono.
Okay.
So it's called a kimono. It's a throw-on basically, right? So you can style it in different ways. And another thing that we try to tap into are like diverse wears. So this is actually a 2-piece. It comes with the trousers.
Okay.
It's something that you can wear separately, you can wear together, you can style it in multiple ways. So it gives you like the advantage that you buy one thing, you buy a set, but you can reuse it in multiple
different ways. Okay. And that way, saving you some money.
Exactly.
Because the main point we are talking about is economy, how to make it better for us.
Of course.
And so you had that in mind to design something like this that someone will wear, and it will be
styled in
different ways, so that it's not just every time you wear, here he goes again, or here she goes again, and that's the cloth. But then they'll see it in a different way and another way.
And you can also be used in different settings. So this is work. You can use it for work. You can use it for an outing. You can use it for a gathering. Can be used in different
occasions.
Yes.
Okay. There is also the need for young people to hear this clearly and see it. I had someone there who also had her own clothing lines. Her name is Aisha. You are Zainab.
Yes.
Yeah, Aisha has been here on 3 occasions or so. And I was saying that the last time she was there, I said, the next time Aisha should be here, that will bring her materials and to show, so as to encourage their viewer to be part of what goes on in this. And then there is this other one that that is next to you there.
Yes.
Let's see a bit of it and talk about it.
Okay, so I'm just going to open it up so you can see. This is a gown, actually, right? Female wear. You can see it is beaded and stoned, right? So
good, great.
This
beaded and stoned.
Yes, beaded and stoned back and forth.
Okay.
All true. So it's a very unique design, if you ask me, right? It's something that any generation can actually wear. So this is something I can wear. This is something my mom can wear. This is something my grandmom can even wear, actually.
Oh, wow.
Because this is a more simple design, but people say simplicity is more elegant.
Okay. Now let's look at the fact that just as you said, simplicity is more elegant. Looking at this, it is good to know that these products can be sourced from anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes.
They can be sourced from anywhere in the world, not minding your base. They can be, after all, you're not even based in Abuja.
No,
but then because you were at the fair and I saw you, I said, bring it. Let's talk about it here.
Yes.
It's good. You are doing something that the world needs to see, and that's why we've come to talk about them.
Yes.
Now, life generally. You have said that these things can always put food on the table of any young person that is prepared to do this.
Yeah.
But looking at it generally, how many young people around you have been encouraged to do this? And how well have you seen them go since, you started doing this? Since 2020, that's what you said.
That I started it,
yeah,
yes.
that you started, yes.
Yes. Okay, I would say a lot of young people, to be very honest. I don't want to give a number, right?
Okay,
but yes, a good number, because we make this locally, right? So this is all made in Nigeria.
Okay.
And we're also suppliers. So we have a few customers, I would say, that take this, that we supply, right? So these are people that are in university. We have people that are in universities. We have people that are just maybe newly married, that are single mothers, different people that would say, I'm not really sure, I'm just trying to find something to do, and they start something like this, right? I also have people around me, I have younger ones that have seen how much this has come up, like the heights that we have reached, and they're just really encouraged to start something like this.
Okay, that's good. So in actual fact, you have had people you have mentored, and there are people you're still mentoring. Is that
of course? Yes.
And the main thing is telling them, not minding whatever you have read. You can also look out for something else to do.
Of course, yes.
Now, I want to ask you, this is specific. Apart from doing this, what do you call this, the fashion line thing, what are other things young people can get into, apart from waiting for the 9-to-5 job that may not be there? And even when it is there, it is so, what you get is like peanuts. What are the other things you can encourage them to do? Because one major thing we do on this program is to ensure that someone goes out after watching this program better equipped for enhancing the economy.
Okay, I would just start by saying a fun fact, actually, right? So when in 2020, I actually did not start by studying software engineering. I actually transferred to software engineering because of my clothing brand.
Okay.
So just to answer your question, I would say always learning something new, right?
Yes.
Always just try to learn something new. When I started going into business, I tried to learn things that would enable me do the business properly. So I started to learn skills. I learned digital marketing, learned a lot of skills. And at that time, I just started to learn a lot of things that made me start to think. And so I actually went into software engineering because at the time, there was a problem with actually trying to find enough people at an affordable rate, because I was still really new, that would help me digitalize my business. Because at that point, we're in a lockdown, there was no going out to find customers. Your customers had to come find you online, right? So it was from doing that that I decided, I'm going to go into software engineering. Now, just to answer your question again, it's basically learning something new, right? You cannot put yourself in a box. Even if you studied law, for example, you can't say from the beginning of my lifetime to when I die, it is only law that I'm going to learn and practice. You need to try to open up yourself to new opportunities. You need to try to learn things. We have 1,000,001 skills that you can monetize, right? And all this, so aside actually selling, business is also giving services, right? So you can say, I learned copywriting skill, and you can monetize it and turn it into a business. Everything can be turned into a business as of today. You don't have to say, oh, I'm just going to look for a job and work under somebody else. Because at the end of the day, the person that you're working under also started a business that you're working for.
Yes, exactly. That's wise. The person you're working under started the business for you to come and work for.
Yes.
So you start your own business. As you start and grow, some other people will want to come and work for you.
Exactly.
That's a great idea that Zainab is bringing forth today.
Thank you.
Well, we'll still continue. Let's just take a little break before I round off with her. There is something else we need to do, as we said earlier.
Had a better structure. I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones, and we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that going forward, it's not like they're going to be business as usual.
And so that's it. We're still on it, and I'm good to be here again. We're trying to round off this time with Zainab, and then what we're talking about is looking at the fact that among the people in the world today, in actual fact, it's not only young people, even some elderly people. Some people are still looking for something fresh to do. You know, some people develop fresh things in their lives even at old age.
Of course.
I remember the story of that man in Yola. That man, that great grandfather, he started primary school at age 65, primary school, and people were wondering, but he finished and went to the secondary school, finished from secondary school, took his GCE, and after taking his GCE, remember he started school at age 65. By the time he was 75, that's 10 years, because of the sense he has. Some of the, like when he was in primary 1, he didn't do primary 1 for 1 whole year, because by the time they showed him everything, he was too fast that they moved him to primary 2 the next year, the same year, just like that. Even in the secondary, that was what was done. And by the time it was 10 years or 8 years after he started school, he had already gained admission into a university. And that man, that elderly man in Yola, I'm not talking about abroad, he's here in the country, went on and graduated from the university 4 years later. So that's a great feat that an old person can do, an elderly person can do. So it's not only for the young people, but I think I would say it's for the young and for the young at heart. So people like us are still young at heart, so we are free. We can get into fresh ones. Is there you have materials like this one I have is unisex, is it not?
Yes.
And that one is purely for the females.
Yes.
So you also have another one just for males.
Yes, we
do.
do.
So you have different ranges, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Now, looking at all this, can someone like me come into this field today and say, I want to learn? And would you be prepared to train me so as to get to be like you?
Yes, we actually offer trainings, right? Right now, it's more to the community that are not as, how do I put this? I would say the less privileged, right? So people that are trying to actually find what to do. Maybe you finished university, you don't have a job, or you finish school, you're not able to go into the university. We offer training. So, as we also make bags. I unfortunately could not bring that today.
Yes, you make bags. I remember I saw some beautiful bags. Even those bags that you put your PC inside.
Yes, we make laptop bags.
Yes, computer bags.
Yes, so we make laptop bags. We make tote bags. We make traveling bags, right? And right now, our current training is on training people to actually learn these things. So these are hand skills that you always go with, right? Okay. So we train these people, we equip a couple. We're still just doing it on a small scale, right? So obviously hoping to grow in it, but we equip some of these people with maybe last year we gave out a sewing machine to the best person from the class. Okay. This is basically just setting you up. So you have been trained, you understand the skill, you understand how to run the business.
Go ahead and do
it. Go for it and do what you can.
Having been helped, you should also be prepared to help others.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you so much. On a final note, I want you to look into this camera and talk to our guest and tell the guest that, number one, age is not a problem. It can happen at any age.
Of course.
And that there is hope, even in spite of these things. And I must say that I saw those your PC bags.
Yes.
They were so fine because one thing I found about the bags is that even if you're carrying it under the rain, it will not wet it because of the fabric, the way you did the fabric.
Yes, it's padded properly.
Yes, padded it effectively. That's good. Okay.
Thank you.
So as we're rounding up, just talk to our viewer and tell our viewer what you think should be done.
Okay, I would just say don't limit yourself, right? There are 1,001 opportunities. No matter how much the economy gets bad, as we would see, there are still people that become millionaires in this economy.
Yes.
So don't put yourself in a box to say, oh, the world is hard, Nigeria is hard. There's so much going on. There are no opportunities for me. Try to grow. Try to learn something that would help you, right? Try to open your mind to amazing opportunities. Don't limit yourself, no matter how young or old you are. You can start a business at 12 years old, right? There are obviously ways you need to do it, but yes, you can start a business at 70, as he said, the man that started primary school at 65. Don't be afraid to start what you need to. Don't limit yourself. Always be open to opportunities, always be open to learning, and you should be able to find yourself in an amazing place.
Thank you so much, Zainab Sani. Thank you for being here with us in the studio today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for bringing great ideas to help young people and to help even the young at heart. It's been a blessing having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And when you leave Abuja, I send our regards to your people, and we'll pray that we'll find other opportunities for you to be here. And not just only being here, to also get your people to be part of what we do here. We can partner with you on this station and get it to a higher level. So thank you so much for coming.
All right, thank you.
Right, dear viewer, that's how we'll be rounding up what we have today. And of course, you've had me talk with this beautiful guest of mine today, talking about software engineer that is also a fashion line creative director. That's it. And what's that called again? The name of that your company again?
Tima's Place.
Tima's Place. Okay. And so that's it. And from all that, regards to all members of the Tima's Place, and to your mom as well. Like I saw her, another beautiful woman too.
Thank you.
Regards to her. Well, we pray that we'll grow and get into working partnership with Tima's Place, so that a lot more will come from there. And then you, please prepare your mind for greater things that will happen, because it depends on you. That's the truth. No, it doesn't depend on the economy. It depends on you. So do the best you can to get things to work out. Thanks to Zainab Sani. Then, of course, I will say thanks to Chediku Joseph for helping us be seen. And not forgetting by any means, Ephraim Omona. Ephraim, I salute you for doing a whole lot of work for me today. Ephraim took care of me today too, and my being the way I am. Thank you so much, Ephraim. I want to say thanks to Victor Adeyeye, Victor Adeyeye, and then of course Gani. Thank you also, the editor, and to a lot of other fellows that have been around. Not forgetting the fact that I have also had a SOSA. Sosa was part of the people that also got me on. Thank you so much, Sosa. Easy Bay. I won't forget. Thank you so much, Sosa. And to everyone else, P. Kaje and the others over there, I want to thank all of you. Saying till we meet again on this platform, this is Okechukwu Onobogo saying, may the very best happen to us all the time.